Today, we are visiting the 5 safest Kansas City neighborhoods. You're gonna wanna stick around for number 1 because not only is it a safe area, but it's a trendy location as well. Number 5 is Armour Hills. Armour Hills is a neighborhood in Kansas City, Missouri. The median price point in this neighborhood is $451,000. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop into some houses today. And in Armour Hills, I found a house that's $550,000. It's actually $549,000. And we're gonna go there right now. And you're gonna see what a really cute house in a really safe neighborhood looks like. So follow me as we go there. Now, as I walk around in Armour Hills, one of the things I notice is that it's a safe, pretty quiet neighborhood. I see people walking their dogs out and about, and definitely a different vibe from my 5 most dangerous Kansas City neighborhoods. You know, video right here in case you want to check those out. So different vibe. You got a lot of these houses that are older. This house that I'm going to right now is 100 years old, but a lot of these houses have been remodeled, re-renovated, and in a lot of these neighborhoods that you're going to see today, that's going to be the case. It's not only cool to live in these neighborhoods, but it's also really cool to revamp some of these houses so that they retain a lot of their charm, but also have a lot of modern usefulness. So let's check out what $549,000 gets you in Armour Hills. So let's check out this $549,000 house in Armour Hills and kind of see what you get. Immediately you come in, and a lot of these older Kansas City homes have a really cool layout, especially for people who don't necessarily like the new open concept. I think that these homes are pretty cozy, but full disclosure, we also live in a home that's kind of this style and this age, so we might be partial to that. I don't necessarily love all the modern homes that are just completely open, but that may be your style. This home may not be your style, so to each his own, right? My favorite part of this home is this screened in porch or deck. It was at one point probably, semi-open, but I really love how this huge window gives you a lot of light. I would put my desk here too, and this would be a great place to do some writing, to do some reading, just to do some relaxing. I'd probably keep my library of books in here. I wish I had that in my house now, but unfortunately, I don't. Moving on here, you have the dining area, which is also pretty large. We have a 9-foot table, and I would estimate it would fit in here actually quite well. That's connected to a pretty good sized kitchen. The thing I like about this kitchen is that there is ample counter space to do whatever you need to do. You've got your oven back there, you've got your stove right here, and you've got, a lot of counter space in which to cook, to prepare meals. But I think my favorite part of this kitchen is that it's connected right off this back deck here. So let's go check this out. With Armour Hills being the 5th safest neighborhood in Kansas City, you should get to know your neighbors, right? So you can see your neighbors are right here. To some people, this could be a good thing. To some people, this could be a bad thing. To me, I think I'd be open to having neighbors this close, sense of community here and, being able to kind of see what's going on. If you want to get to know your neighbors well, the one over here, especially if you're mowing your lawn, you can have an easy chat with them over here. You've also got a nice 2-car detached garage over here. So as the spring comes in Kansas City, this is going to be a nice place to enjoy it, to be honest with you. This deck is super nice, pretty big. I would say a really attractive area of Kansas City to live in. Let's go check out the upstairs. So this house has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. So that should be plenty big for the average American family, or maybe you're not a family, maybe you're living alone and single. This is the first of the secondary bedrooms. Let's go see the second of the secondary bedrooms. And then in a little bit, we'll pop into one of the nicer primary suites I've ever seen. One of the things I envy about this house is that this primary suite is quite large. It's pretty much this whole side of the house. It's got an in-suite bathroom that's kind of right over the porch reading area of this house with a double vanity. You've got a walk-in shower, you've got your toilet. It's nice and bright as well. One thing I would really like about this, I actually have more clothes than my wife, so I would actually like this walk-in closet, which is truly a walk-in closet. It's pretty big. Come on, let's see it. See over here, you've got this shelving unit, you've got this shelving unit. It's a pretty big closet, and this is just one of the closets. The other closet is not as big, but as you can see, still pretty sizable. Now, as we head to number 4, you might be wondering, how did you come up with this list? Did you find it online somewhere? Actually, this list is a compilation of a lot of different things. let's head back to the studio and I'll not only show you where these locations are on a map, but I'll tell you how I got this list. Okay, quick detour before we get to neighborhood number 4. First of all, you may be wondering, how did we come up with this list of best neighborhoods, safest neighborhoods to live in Kansas City? Well, basically what I did was I did the research of safest neighborhoods in Kansas City. That's a very common search term and one that you've probably searched if you're thinking about moving here. And basically, so what I did was I compiled the list and said, if a neighborhood comes in first place, I gave it 5 points. If it came in second place, I gave it 4 points, and so on and so forth. And this is how I came up with the best neighborhoods in Kansas City. Now, a few weaknesses with this list. Number 1, it only covers the Missouri side. If you want a Kansas side, drop it in the comments below, and I will definitely do a 5 best neighborhoods in Kansas City, Kansas, or at least on the Kansas side. The only reason that it comes in with the Missouri side is because typically, if you just search Google for Kansas City, Google is going to think that you mean Kansas City, Missouri. That's one of the hard things to compile these lists when it crosses state lines, because honestly, there are a lot of safe neighborhoods on the Kansas side too. You're talking about Overland Park, Olathe, Leawood, Prairie Village. There's many more that I didn't necessarily name. So this doesn't cover the entire metro area, just on the Kansas City, Missouri side. This also excludes places like Liberty or Smithville or Lee Summit. Those types of areas are not necessarily included on this list as well. Second thing before we get out there, if you're looking to relocate here to Kansas City, give us a call. If you like the look of one of these neighborhoods, we'll help you find a house that you can buy in one of these neighborhoods. 816-4-MOVE-KC. And look, even if you've decided to rent at first and you want to buy a little bit later, I would still love to connect with you. I have helped a ton of people move here who are planning on buying later, but wanting to rent right now and wanting to talk and to connect and to plan their purchase even a year or 2 years from now. That's totally fine. It is not a waste of my time. 816-4-MOVE-KC. We would love to connect with you. So I'm going to show you on a map in Kansas City where a lot of these neighborhoods are located. Okay, Armour Hills is located right here. You can see I'm using kind of the Google definition of Armour Hills. So Armour Hills is right in here. Where I was right here is the 69th and Rock Hill Park. So the reason I show you this on a map is because what you're going to want to know is, I'm going to mention this later in the video, but with a lot of these neighborhoods, they are right next to each other. Okay, I don't want to spoil where these neighborhoods are, but they're right next to each other. And unfortunately, a lot of these boundaries with these neighborhoods are not necessarily super well defined. So they're right next to each other, but most of them are going to be west of Troost over here. Now let's head to neighborhood number 4. And spoiler alert, this is not in this general vicinity, this general area. This one's actually way up here. So let's check out what River Market looks like. Okay, so I'm at the 4th safest Kansas City neighborhood, which is River Market. And behind me is City Market, which is a farmer's market that occurs during the weekdays, Saturday and Sunday. During the spring and the summer months, everything's kind of open. Right now, they have it kind of closed off, but it's still actually going. So it's kind of like an indoor-outdoor farmer's market. You'll see what I mean when we start walking in there. Later in this vlog, we're also going to see where to live if you wanted to live in River Market. So City Market is a part of River Market, which is the broader area. So not only is there a farmer's market here, there's the Arabia Steamboat Museum, which is a cool spot. Haven't visited yet, full disclosure. Our kids, I think, are a little bit too young for it, but what we're going to do right now is we're going to walk through the farmer's market. Like I said, it's kind of closed off today because it's a little bit chillier, but I think you're going to get the gist of what's going on. Okay, so I'm here where all the vendors are, and it's kind of hard to navigate my selfie stick in here, but you've got a whole bunch of things that you can buy here. One of my favorite things to get here is the honey. I have allergies, and I've heard that local honey is good for allergies. I don't know if that's true or not. Sometimes I take it, sometimes I don't. Probably don't take it as consistently as I should. This is the City Market, only on the weekends. Really cool stuff. So behind me is Carollo's, probably my favorite sandwich spot in maybe all of Kansas City now that I think about it. Really good, authentic Italian sandwiches right behind me. But before we leave River Market, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go check out where you would actually be living if you decided to live in this area. There's not that many housing options, so you might be surprised at the housing options that there are, but let me warn you, some of it is actually really expensive, so keep on watching. So like I said, if you're gonna live in River Market, one of your options are these townhomes. Now, these are pretty pricey. They're $500,000 and up. The one that most recently closed I could find was close to $700,000. And these are small, these are tiny, but they are right in the heart of everything that we just saw. City Market, the Arabia Steamboat Museum, all of that stuff is right here in River Market. But again, you're gonna have to pay for it. These are all interconnected. Some people don't like that. The other option is going to be condos. You could easily get a condo here, probably for $200,000 and up. So it is going to be kind of pricey to live here, but like I said, it is safe. So I'm at the number 3 safest neighborhood in Kansas City, and that is the Waldo neighborhood right behind me here. I'm at the intersection of 75th and Warnall, and this is a very, very busy intersection. You've got Aldi over there. You've got a lot of eateries over here. We like frequenting Boru, which is an Asian eatery right off of 75th. That's one place that we really enjoy eating, but the Waldo neighborhood is a kind of disputed neighborhood, as we're going to see later in the video. But I'm going to take you to where people are actually living in the Waldo neighborhood. This is kind of where they shop. But again, number 3 safest neighborhood is Waldo. Now, the Waldo neighborhood has a ton of really cute houses, a bunch of cute cottages. I would say the average price point here is right around, you can get a house as cheap as $180, but you're probably only going to be getting something like a 2-bath or something like that. And I've seen houses here go all the way up to $480. So in the past 180 days, you have some houses that can reach as high as that. But it's going to be a pretty large house that you're going to be getting in the Waldo neighborhood for $480,000. Now, if you stay tuned, we are going to a house in this neighborhood that's listed right now for $425,000. So you're gonna get to see the inside of that. Now, there is some dispute as to where the Waldo neighborhood ends and where other neighborhoods begin. You've got a couple areas that kind of consider themselves Waldo. So you have Waldo, and then you have West Waldo, and then you have Tower Homes. I see a lot of people who list their homes in Tower Homes saying, you know, Waldo neighborhood, when it's not technically Waldo, even spilling into a couple other neighborhoods that we're going to show you pretty soon. So that's going to be one thing that, as you saw on the map, is not going to be super well defined. But you can see this neighborhood has a ton of super cute houses all up and down this block here. And that's going to be very characteristic of the Waldo neighborhood. So let's go inside a $425,000 Waldo neighborhood house right now, and maybe you'll like it. Okay, check this out. Nice house for $425,000 in the Waldo neighborhood. You've got 4 bedrooms in this house. You've got 2 bathrooms in this house, and you've got this nice large living area that connects to this dining room area. We definitely need a formal dining room in our house. And if you're like us, you like to entertain, you like to have people over, that's going to be something that is a nice plus about this house. But not only do you have a formal dining room, you also have this kind of eat-in area with this kitchen here too. So you could put your coffee bar here, you could put your espresso bar here. I don't know anything about coffee or espresso, so put whatever you want here, you know? And then through here, you've got a kitchen. You've got a kitchen with nice upgraded countertops here. You've got a full bathroom right here. And then you've got 2 bedrooms on the main living area. Now that's not all, you've got 2 bedrooms upstairs too, so let's go take a look. These stairs are pretty steep, so if you put kids up here, definitely watch out that they don't fall down these stairs. It seems like the 2 biggest rooms are on the top floor. So that's gonna be something that you have to decide whether you like or not. I think this house is really cute, really cool. 4 bedrooms, 2-bath home in this super desirable Waldo neighborhood. One of my favorite parts is the porch. Let's go out there right now. One thing I really like about the Waldo neighborhood is that it is a front porch culture. You've got a lot of front porches out here. You've got some that are screened in. You got some over here that are not. This one is nice and open, so I can just picture yourself putting, you know, a nice chair swing or some chairs right here, and just watching the world kind of pass you by in this really cute Waldo neighborhood. I think that's one of my favorite things about this particular house. So let's head over to neighborhood number 2. It's actually very close to here. Wait till you find out what it is. Okay, we are at neighborhood number 2, which is Brookside. Brookside is actually a collection of neighborhoods. Like I kind of mentioned before, that there's a little bit of discrepancy where some of these neighborhoods start and where some of these end. But we are definitely in Brookside right now because Brookside Boulevard is right behind me right there. These are the Brookside shops. Really kind of hip, trendy place to go shopping. You've got a lot of little boutiques right here. The houses in the Brookside area are going to be anywhere from like 450 to 650 plus. You can get really, really nice, expensive houses in the Brookside area, but I would say to get into Brookside, you're going to at least need $450,000. I don't see very much going on in Brookside for less than that. So the houses truly are gorgeous in the Brookside area. One of the most enviable and desirable areas in Kansas City. If a house hits the market in Brookside, you can expect to definitely pay over asking price. And you can expect that there's going to be a lot of interest, especially in this current market. One of the things that Brookside has that I really value is sidewalks. I mean, it's so strange to have a lot of Kansas City neighborhoods without sidewalks, but you know what? That's just kind of the reality of it. One of the desirable things about the Brookside area is the walkability of the actual neighborhoods. You'll see a lot of people out and about with their pets, with their families, walking around, having a good time, especially as the weather gets nicer now. Now, I'm not going to necessarily show you a lot of Brookside because I would say it's very similar to Waldo. It's very similar to Armour Hills. It's very, very similar to a lot of the neighborhoods that we've already been to. But I really want to get you to number 1 because the bookstore that I actually want to go to in this super hip and trendy area is about to close. So if we don't get there fast, you're not going to be able to see it. So let's go. Come with me. Okay, we made it. Welcome to number 1 safest neighborhood in Kansas City, at least according to the metrics and what I gathered online, and that is the Volker neighborhood. Homes in this neighborhood start right around $300,000 and they can go up to, I've seen them go all the way up to like $650,000 to $750,000, and sometimes even more if you get the right home. A lot of them are older homes that have been remodeled, but one of the coolest things about living in this neighborhood is that the homes are actually pretty close together. If you like that kind of neighborhood that's kind of packed with historic homes, then you're gonna like that. One of the negative things is that, yeah, the homes are a little bit closer together, and if you don't want to be super, super close to your neighbor, you might prefer Brookside or you might prefer Waldo. Now, one thing to note is that in a lot of these neighborhoods, they're super close to the quote unquote bad neighborhoods. Okay, I live in the number 4 worst neighborhood in Kansas City, according to some lists, and I'm about 8 to 9 minutes away from Volker right here. If I hit all the right lights, I could be 7 minutes away from Volker. So a lot of these neighborhoods are kind of cramped together. You don't necessarily know crime until you get into that neighborhood, which is why I think one of the important things is to give us a call. 816-4-MOVE-KC. We will help you find the right neighborhoods for you. Now, as I promised before, we are going to head to Prospero's Books, and I'm going to pick out a book because I love to read with a 4 and a 2-year-old. Sometimes I think I've completely forgotten how to read. So once in a while, it's nice to go and pick up a book, take it home. I'm going to read it. Let's go to the coolest bookstores, not just in the Volker neighborhood, but also in all of Kansas City. Finding what I want up here. So there's actually 3 floors of books. Let's go all the way down to the basement to see if I can find what I want. By the way, I don't know why I'm whispering. It just feels like in a bookstore, you should kind of whisper. There you go. Have a good one. Yeah, you too. Okay guys, that was way harder than I thought because I was like, dude, I can't pick some like, noob book like Harry Potter. You're gonna make fun of me.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
And I wasn't finding any like super interesting book. But I did find the only Amor Towles book I haven't read, The Lincoln Highway, one of my favorite modern authors. I really liked A Gentleman in Russia. So yeah, this is the only one that I don't have. They had a copy of it. So yeah, here's Volker, here's Westport. I got my book. I'm gonna go try to read it. I'm sure my kids are gonna jump all over me, but hope you liked it.